Hi, I'm Kay, and welcome to Coping Creatively. I started this project when I found myself in a really dark place in my life. I was way down that rabbit hole and I didn't know if I was getting out. If you want to know the how and the why I found myself in this situation and the steps I'm now taking to heal myself, please head over to my website, copingcreatively.net. I have also created a community for others who are going through or have gone through the same issues I have over on Patreon. There will be discussions and support and exclusive content into my coloring journey. I would really love to have you join us over there. Both my website and Patreon community links are listed in the description box below. So join me on this journey into colored pencil art. Now I'm a beginner, so I'll be learning some new things, trying them out with you, and we can go on this journey together. So I'm also new at this digital video thing. I haven't done anything with video since VHS and 8mm. Yeah, that's really dating me. So please be patient with me while I learn this new camera and the editing software. I promise things will get better in life, in our coloring, and my videotaping. But before we get started, I wanted to show you how I take my coloring on the go. I like coloring here on the back deck, out at our pool, on the sofa, down at our beach house. To me, coloring at a desk seems like work. This is to be fun and relaxing. So let's go inside and I'll show you all the supplies I gather together to take with me. Oh, before we go, remember to hit that subscribe button so you have ready access to all my videos. Hey, so you want to know how I take my coloring on the go? Well, I don't use coloring books all that often because you're not guaranteed on what type of paper you're going to get. 9 times out of 10, I'll find a picture or two in there I'll like, and then the rest either don't interest me, they're too complicated for me, or the objects in it are too small and I can't really get in there. So I prefer to go online and look for free PDFs. Print those out in the topics that interest me, and then I can take them wherever I want to go. So these art boards are great. I love these. I think I have about 3 or 4 of them, and I might have 3 or 4 different projects going on at one time. So let me show you how to set that up. Once you get your printout, and for the paper, you can use whatever kind of paper you have, just regular printer paper. It's going to be a lot thinner, and if you use markers, it's going to bleed through. You can use cardstock. What I am using is Neenah vellum cardstock. It's got a little bit of a tooth to it, which will hold the pencil color a lot better than if it was just a smooth page. The smooth page is not going to hold a lot of color, and this is a little thicker to hold some markers, mainly water-based markers, not alcohol markers. So, and this is the one we're going to be starting with the end of this week for our color tutorials and the color alongs that I provide on my Patreon page. So if you're interested in the full-length color along, you can go to my Patreon page and sign up there. Otherwise, I'll give you little highlights of how to do each section here on YouTube. Once you get your page printed out, get it lined up there really good. Let me get you lined up there really good. Now originally I bought this thin art tape because I thought that's all I would need, but it's not thick enough, and when I put the page down, for some reason it likes to peel up and pull the page up, and so I went out and bought a thicker art tape. Pretty easy to do. It's not expensive, and it's a little less tacky than most tape. So what I do is I just kind of line that up, make sure I'm straight, and just put that on there. Now if you don't have art tape, can't find art tape, can't afford art tape, that's fine. Just use Scotch magic tape. But what you're going to want to do is once you get your piece, and you're going to want to put it on your shirt, your pants, and then pull it back up, and that gets a lot of the sticky off. So, and then you just put it down just like you would the art tape. One thing you want to remember when you're taking your tape off, you're going to want to be very careful so you don't rip your paper. Just kind of get your corner up, and then you want to peel away from your paper like that. And you're gonna wanna do that with any tape, the art tape, the magic tape. Just kind of slowly peel it off. Because if you do it this way, you're more likely to rip some of the paper off your page here. So let's tape this down and get it ready for our coloring tutorials and color along videos. And if you go over, it's no big deal. Flop it around and do the other side. And just make sure the corners are taped down really nice. And this one's a little too short. Now with this handle, you can take it along with you. Another thing you're gonna want, if you're gonna take your coloring on the go, is either some tissue paper or some regular paper, or both, doesn't matter. But I like using the tissue paper because I can see through while I'm coloring. And what you're going to want to use these for is when you do color and you rest your arm on your page. If you're outside and it's warm, your pencils, if they're wax-based pencils, may start to melt. You might get some sweat on your arm, and you don't want to put that on your page because once you get the oils from your skin onto the page, the pencils won't lay correctly. So I like this to rest my hand on. Make sure I don't smudge any of the pencil color. I don't know if you can see it on this one. When I was practicing the red for the apples that we're going to be coloring later on, it bled off onto here. So it would either been on my arm and then back onto the page somewhere where I didn't want it. So I use that. And then when I'm traveling, and I just stick, there's a little rubber band down here, and you can just stick that right in there, and I keep that tucked in there. And when you're traveling, I usually take this paper and cover that up. So your page is completely protected. You got your tracing paper and you've got your regular paper here, and this will come in handy too. This is my old one. I use it to test colors out, blend colors, match up colors. So it comes in handy when you need to test your colors out. Another good thing is, let's say you're using your blender pencil and you're blending out the red, you're going to get little pieces of that red at the end of the blender pencil. Now if you go into a green, you don't want that red going into the green, so you can just kind of wipe it off here. I think you might see some scribbles here of me wiping some colors off my blender pencil or my white. That's how we get started. Another thing is, once I've gotten my colors picked out, you might have a set of 24, 36, 150, who knows, but once you get your colors picked out for your page, I put them in one of these. It's a carry-along bag. Go. There you can see it. And see, I've got all my pencils that I'm going to be using for this page later this week. I've got everything I need in here. The only thing that I wouldn't be able to bring with me wherever I go is my brush. Now you're going to want a brush that you can use to get any crumbs or eraser pencil crumbs off. You don't want to be blending the pencil color by wiping it with your hand or blowing on it. I've done that before, and you spit all over your page. So I recommend a brush, and I can't remember where I found this one. You can use any kind of fluffy brush. In fact, a makeup brush. Go to the dollar store and buy a cheap fluffy makeup brush. That'll work just as good. In fact, I might need to do that and get a smaller one that I can put in my bag here, because this one really doesn't fit too well. Another thing is, I talked about before with wiping your blender pencil. If it has color on it, you can use this. This is sandpaper, and you can use this to get color off. Let's say you're getting a dull point on your pencil, or maybe it snapped a little at the end and you want to get it sharp again. You can just rub it a little bit, get either the color off, sharpen it up a little bit so you have more of a point. So I recommend having one of these handy. I use this quite a bit. And what else is in my goodie bag? Erasing. Sometimes you're going to need to erase something. And so my hand shakes a lot, so I can go outside of the lines quite a bit. So I use this little itty bitty tiny mono eraser, and I can get in there and pick up that color. Now when you use this, you don't want to rub back and forth. You kind of want to pull the color away from you very lightly, because if you rub back and forth, you're gonna ruin the tooth of the paper and it's gonna be harder to lay down your colors. Also, with the sandpaper, let's say you get some color here, some red, and you're going into white and you don't want to blend the red with the white, you can just take that red off, get rid of that, and this is retractable, so there's a lot in there. It's a whole big stick of eraser. You get a refill, so another one of my favorites. But if you've got a larger area to erase, this is a Tombow mono eraser. It's a bigger size and it comes in a pack of 3 and it works great. It'll pull most of your color off, so just be careful with this too. Don't go in there real hard, just kind of pull your color off. And you'll see me using all of this stuff during the color alongs and tutorials. So, and then see here are all the pencils I'm using for apples in the basket, the pomegranate. Here are all the pencils I'm using for this color along. And I always keep a couple of blender pencils because they're gonna go dull probably quicker than some of the other pencils. And another, there's this little gadget here. Let me show you how small this little pencil is. If I can get it out of here. See how small this pencil is? I could barely hold it in my hands and color right. So these little extenders are perfect. You just loosen this up a little bit, slide your pencil in there where you need it, and then tighten it up. What's the old saying? Righty tighty, lefty loosey, but I think this is, there we go. So there, now it's like a regular pencil. That's another goodie. What else do I have in here? Let's talk sharpeners. I am not a big fan of manual sharpeners. They just don't work well for me, but I do take this along in case I need it. It works fairly good, but I prefer, before I leave, I sharpen all my pencils up on this nice electric sharpener. It's an AFMAT. I bought 2 of them. When I first started coloring, everybody was raving about this Derwent manual pencil sharpener. I must be getting old because I can't figure it out. I've tried it, you know, I've tried different things and it gets stuck and I can't empty it. And once I empty it, you know, once I figure out how to empty it, I can't get it back together. It's eaten so many of my pencils that I just gave up. See, now I can't get this to go back in. So yeah, manuals don't work. This gets everything to a great point. As you can see there, that's a really nice point for me. I like that, and it keeps a sharp point for a long time. It's got 2 settings if you want more of a blunt tip or if you want a really sharp point tip. So that's another recommendation from me. I might have to get another one to take down to our beach house so I don't have to carry this one back and forth. And I think that's it in my goodie bag. Oh, I do keep a Micron ink pen in there in case I need to write something out. I use this a lot for my color charts, when I write out my color charts. So I just keep it on hand. So this is everything I keep in my goodie bags. And like I said, I have 3 of them. I love these things so much. I have flamingos, I have black kitties, and I use this for like my realistic drawings. This is for my, flamingos are for my fun coloring projects. It's just fun. And because these are cats, I kind of use this for more of my realistic drawing, coloring, practicing pencils to take with me. And then I have one more. I have a flowers bag that I keep. This one goes with me more often than these other 2 out. Like when I go out, I go to like a brewery or a winery or somewhere where we're just chilling and relaxing and I want to color, because I don't take this big artboard with me out in public yet. This is what I use when I go out to like breweries and wineries and anywhere in public. I might look silly with this big artboard, but I might change my mind in the future, who knows. But I found this, I saw a YouTube video on this book and I fell in love. It was one of the few books that I've seen that I liked everything in it. So I'm sure eventually I will fill this one up. It's just got all kinds of flowers. Just beautiful flowers. And I love nature, I love flowers. There's some with birds on them, little ladybugs, bees, and then they've got these full coloring pages. I've only got one page started in here, and as you can see, I'm testing colors out and color matching, because what I did is I have had two pencil sets. I had Spectrum Noir, which was a wax-based pencil, and I had Magic Fly that I bought because it was oil-based, and I wanted to compare to see how each did in this book. So this side is the Magic Fly oil-based pencils, and this is the Spectrum Noir wax-based pencils. Now you can see I'm still not quite done. I've still got to finish these flowers up and the border. Now, if you're interested in watching me color these pages, just hit the like button so I know that's something you're interested in. Because what I plan to do with this book is, as I get new pencils in, I'm going to do a page for each pencil set I get to see how it does in this coloring book. Now, these pages are pretty thick and they're kind of smooth. So what I've noticed so far is the oil-based pencils went down beautifully, but I'm having a harder time with the wax-based pencils, especially if I'm coloring outside in the heat. The wax tends to melt and clump up. So that's just the Spectrum Noir pencils. I am going to be trying out my Prismacolors that I got. Once again, if you want to see me finish this page, or as I go through and color the pages with every new pencil set I get, just hit that like button so I know that's something you really want to see. Okay, I think that's it. I've shown you how I get my pages ready and my little kits ready to color on the go. So we should be all set for our video tutorial and color alongs the end of the week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notify bell so you have ready access to all my upcoming videos. Now, anything I mentioned in this video is linked in the description box below, or you can find it on my goodies page on my website, copingcreatively.net. Now, thank you for joining me. I look forward to coloring with you this weekend. So, until then, hang in there and have some fun.